I'm Ashton Addison from EventChain for Investmentpitch Media and FinTech News Network. And today on Blockchain Interviews, we have Arsenii Dain, the Managing Director of Cointelegraph Consulting. Arsenii,
Good
thanks so
morning.
much for being on the show. It's a pleasure to have you here today.
Thank you for inviting me, Ashton.
You're very welcome. I'm excited to hear a little bit about the updates to Cointelegraph. You guys are one of the top publications for cryptocurrency and blockchain news, but I recently saw that you guys opened the Cointelegraph Consulting division. Could you tell me a little bit about why did you guys start the division and what are the services that are most needed right now?
Yeah, sure. So just to explain at the very end, it's a different venture arm that we launched together with the Cointelegraph. It's separated from the editorial team, and I would say that we just joined our forces of the guys that have been working previously with the traditional consulting and the experts from Cointelegraph that used to have, and that they're having a lot of connections and network across blockchain startups and people in the space. And we decided to make this as we thought, and we think that there's a high demand for education in the crypto space, and in the blockchain space, especially among the enterprise clients that are willing to implement blockchain technologies to their ecosystems.
Mm-hmm.
And we're offering kind of solutions that are helping them to understand the technology and to deploy them easily with the potential scalability for their business.
Mm-hmm. That's great. And you guys thought there would be a lot of demand. How has it gone so far? Is there a lot of demand? And how many kind of enterprise different solutions
So
are
we
people already
started
doing?
recently, I think less than 8 weeks ago, we published our first report. So just for the very beginning, explaining what we're doing. The difference of Cointelegraph consulting and traditional consulting in the way of implementing emerging technologies is that we're not just preparing a strategy and telling you guys need to implement blockchain here in a data management system or whatever. We're helping them to understand the benefit of blockchain technology in a comparison of traditional ERP system that they're using. Prepare a strategy that basically explains them how they should implement this technology, and we help them to find a vendor, the perfect solution provider that will suit their needs, that will help them to implement this technology. And we support all the dependable solution deployment in their ecosystem with a team of our experts that are helping us to prepare a technical task to show, to help enterprise with all the deployment, etc. Mm-hmm. So the way is that we help them to deploy, to understand, and to further execute the solution. So far, when we started, we've published the first kind of report, institutional level content that we prepared with our first partner in Solar. It's a Swiss-based blockchain, public blockchain that focus mostly on the enterprises founded by the guys from Goldman Sachs. And this report been downloaded for more than 6,000 people. And there are a lot of enterprise clients among them, and we're receiving a lot of demand from their side. Basically, there have been a lot of reports published before, and there are a lot of content being prepared about blockchain in enterprise world. But our major focus is that we explain how it runs in action and how it can be deployed. So it's not just words explaining the benefits and so on. So we're making steps towards the implementation for enterprise, just not for wasting time and helping them to succeed in this space. Yeah. And for the side of solution providers, we help them to reach out directly to their potential clients to help them to build this interaction mechanism with a potential customer, to help them to get the loyalty and present their materials properly. So it's a kind of mix of investment banking from that one side, when we help solution providers to prepare their materials, to show them in the proper way, because we help them with this reports and other materials that we show to enterprises in a very unbiased media approach that we're using, explaining the advantages of their technology. It's not just like a sales pitch that they used before in their sales presentations, but the idea is that we give them ability to show their expertise in the particular topic that we select, and have kind of ability for them to show how their blockchain and their particular technology works in action.
That's great.
So that's one of the, I would say, advantages and attractive points that helped us to get demand from both sides right now. But we're now only starting. So I think once we will make more movements and we'll make more reports together with the traditional consulting world, we'll get more attention from institutional clients.
That's great. And how many different clients have you seen interest from in the 8 weeks that you've started so far?
You mean from enterprise side or from the solution provider side?
On the enterprise, yeah.
From enterprise, I think we have about 15 to 20 warm leads from just basic feedback form and direct emails to consulting at Cointelegraph, and then there be some leads from the companies that I've been interacting before during my employment at Diginex. Diginex is a Hong Kong-based solution provider that going to be public listed in NASDAQ soon. I've been responsible for strategy at this company. So we've been working for a strategy of corporate solutions, and we've been engaging with the several corporations that basically decided to digest this information more and to look for more solution providers in the market and to receive more education. So once they found the news online that there's such a offer that helps them to learn more and to get more, they reach out to me.
Mm-hmm. That's great. And you mentioned that you are working with InSolar, who make private and public blockchain solutions, I believe. And I also read that you're working somehow with the VeChain blockchain. Could you talk a little bit about, why these blockchains, out of all the blockchains that are popular in the industry right now, why these ones?
So they've just been the first one. We have, I would say, the warmest relationships with them, because once we just started, we haven't had any sophisticated sales decks and so on, and we just came to them with an idea and explaining what we're doing, and they said like, yeah, well, guys, we want to join this venture as soon as possible. We've chosen them because they have case studies with the large brands. VeChain recently signed partnership with Walmart, BMW, a lot of food and beverage companies. So they're making a lot of movements in China. Asia is one of our, I would say, major regions that we were trying to focus on. And InSolar are having a lot of clients in their pipeline that they're going to recently disclose, including one of the largest car manufacturer that they're helping them with some provenance stuff and payment solutions.
Wow. That's really interesting. With the China Walmart, that's going to be huge. Do you see like the enterprise adoption sort of trickling down to the consumer level in terms of, blockchain sort of being adopted by the mainstream? It's really going to come from the enterprises first?
I would say, yeah, that will be kind of first engagement. That's my feeling, because once a consumer will understand the value that, for example, they're just buying a pack of milk and having understanding that there's a credibility behind this, and they understand where this milk came from, and that the data is hashed and and there's a provenance behind this. I think they'll get more attention and more demand coming from the side of customers for additional vendors for additional basically suppliers of different goods to implement blockchain for themselves. So I think they'll get more comfortable with having clear understanding of provenance of product. But it's only one way of implementing enterprise blockchain solutions. There's a bunch of things that will not interact with the customers directly. So there's a bunch of things that we're working with other solution providers that are going to join us soon. Mostly focusing on data management, supply chain management, and solutions in that sphere.
That's great. And do you guys foresee any partnerships or working with on the financial industry?
Yeah, right now, the thing is that we're now going to announce partnership with one of the largest audit firm that will help us to manage all the technical aspects of solution providers. So we will not need to So it's just additional responsibility from the third party that verifies that this solution basically works, and the guys that what they're offering in their presentation, they're able to deliver what they promise. This company has been funded by one of the largest exchanges. So with them, we have focused mostly on data management and provenance. For the financial services and DeFi, we have, of course, ability and demand to do that, but I think there will be more in the Q2 of 2020, because right now we need to be very clear and perfect in things we do, because once you make a wrong decision and once you make a wrong step with the enterprise world and institutionals, it will be very hard to recover. So we're very careful with things we offer. So
yeah, well, so you're working in China, which is an interesting story, on its own. But I've noticed that the Southeast Asian region seems to be very progressive into integrating blockchain solutions, and they're open to sort of bring it into the economy. Do you think that this will trickle into North America? And are you seeing interest already from North America as you started this?
Yeah, sure. So right now we're I wouldn't say that there's a region. There's like specification in the regions. In Asia, just we're based in Asia. I'm based in Hong Kong, just traveling right now. Now London, but anyway, in Hong Kong and in Asia, in Southeast Asia, there's a bunch of solution providers that are working there in their local markets. In North America, there's a lot of blockchains that are also working on the data management and supply chain stuff. We have several requests from the companies that are based in North of America that are doing supply chain management for oil industry. So I think in this space, there's a lot to come, and something mostly focused on production will be working in the US first. That's my opinion.
That's great.
Not a B2C focus, maybe only B2B right now. Maybe you heard about blockchain called Factum. There's one of the largest blockchains that even been granted by Melinda and Gates Foundation. They're now they're having focus on B2B solutions. I know that they're doing some work with U.S. authorities and with corporate clients. So there's several blockchains that are doing this there.
And now, what is the ultimate goal, throughout 2020 for the Cointelegraph consulting division? What do you expect this to be like in 12 months?
So the perfect vision for myself would be creating competitor for McKinsey, BCG, and Bain, having kind of a new approach of consulting that's able to deliver the solution for a potential customer with a very short term, very dependable and very trusted solutions, and by this also helping the projects, very promising projects from the blockchain world, giving more trust to them, explaining that these solutions are able to work and are able to cooperate with the institutional world. So I would say by the end of 2020, it will be great for us to have several huge announcements about successful deployment of solutions in Fortune 500 corporations that will significantly improve their business and help them to scale new directions. And by this case, also helping blockchain projects to get more attention, to get more clients and funding. So that's basically our approach, is helping both sides.
Very cool. And are you actively looking for more enterprise clients right now? And if you are, how can they find more information?
Yeah, so we're now focusing on solution providers more, I would say, because we want to make a significant portfolio of vendors, of trusted vendors that we can deliver and that we can bring to enterprise clients. So once we have a significant portfolio, our goal is to make kind of a tender where we will send the technical task across several vendors from the enterprise clients. So we want to make a kind of big range of options for them. But however, we're still having like a waiting list and list of enterprises that are working, that are keen to work with us. They can reach out to us through just our consulting email, consulting@cointelegraph.com, or through the feedback form on our webpage. There's a on the top of the page of Cointelegraph, there's a consulting section that there are 3 subsections. The first one is about consulting services, explaining like an executive summary 1-pager, explaining the business itself. Industry reports, the reports and educational material that we conducted together with our vendors, and solution providers, list of trusted vendors that we work with, and for those who would give our public awareness, basically. They
Great.
can find all relevant information there.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Arsenii. I'll leave those links in the description box below. That's all the time that we have for this interview, but let's follow up in the near future.
Thank you.